I've said before a few times, the reason that I think a lot of people think Kamala Harris won is because she played exactly into who the left wants from a candidate. Emotional, and just having that emotional appeal to the voters without any substance. There doesn't need to be any substance there as long as she can touch your heart, even though I don't really know what that means, because Kamala Harris does not touch my heart. She makes me mad. But she delivered exactly what the left has come to expect from their candidates. Whereas on the right, we do expect that substance. We expect clear answers, and we did not get that. I think there were a lot of situations where it was clear that Trump was not as prepared as he should have been. But then again, I don't know how prepared he could have been, considering the entire focus of the debate was just to attack him personally and to make him defend all of these insane things that the media have said about him over the last several years. No matter how many times, most of these things have been repeatedly debunked. So, of course, that is going to raise anybody's blood pressure. That is going to agitate anybody. But we could see how biased the moderators were. It was absolutely egregious, where they were only fact-checking one of the candidates. They were not fact-checking the other. And that becomes obvious when you pay attention to the truth of these things. When you know what the facts are, you can see how badly Kamala Harris was lying. And when you know how badly she's lying, and you can see that the moderators aren't jumping in with the same energy towards her that they are with Trump, you can see the bias. But of course, if you're not paying attention and you don't know that pretty much everything she said was a lie, you're going to think that the fact checkers were playing fair. So the first thing that came to light was that Linsey Davis admitted that she only prepared to fact check Trump. She saw things that happened in the first debate between him and Biden, and these were the things that she hung on to prepare for this next debate. And these essentially were statements that she believed could not be left to hang, that they needed to be addressed. So what this basically says is that she took those statements, and in her preparation for this debate, she came prepared to correct the record, at least according to what she felt was true, which is not the way that you should be preparing to moderate a debate between two presidential candidates. You need to be coming in prepared to ask them about their policy positions, to defend their record, to push back on things that perhaps they've changed their position on, things that actually matter to everyday people. But it's very clear that Linsey Davis came in with her own personal agenda and didn't really care to get answers for the people that were supposed to benefit from watching that debate. So it says ABC News' Linsey Davis, one of the two moderators for last week's presidential debate, admitted to the Los Angeles Times that the plan was only to fact check former President Donald Trump and not Vice President Kamala Harris. It says Davis admitted that the moderator studied past statements, but somehow did not prepare to check Harris's repeated use of hoaxes, as she repeated the very fine people hoax that has been debunked countless times at this point. She also used the bloodbath hoax, which we know was not to incite violence, and it was not something that Trump was saying to instill fear in people, and it has no basis to be used to instill fear in voters of any kind, but that is what it was pushed at. So clearly, when she was not fact-checking those things, it is clear to all of us that her target was Trump. It says, in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, Davis said she wanted to address concerns that Trump's statements could be allowed to hang there unchallenged by his opponent or the moderators, as they were when Trump and Biden debate on CNN in June. Davis, wearing pink glasses while speaking to the Times over breakfast at the Ritz-Carlton in Philadelphia, said the decision to attempt to correct candidates was in response to the June 27th CNN debate between Trump and President Biden, whose poor performance led to his exit from the race, the Times reported. We know that it was not his poor performance in the debate that led to his exit. It was the fact that he was literally a walking corpse with little to no brain function that got him there, and they knew that they could not push this man over the finish line and needed to make a decision. But it's clear that her debate prep was entirely centered on correcting Trump, which again is not her job. When you go in to moderate a debate, your job is to pull answers from these candidates on the issues that matter to the people watching. You cannot go in with a personal agenda. And I feel like so much of this has gotten muddied with everything being about politics, where we can't have things approached and handled in the way that they are meant to be handled. And therefore, you have an audience that doesn't recognize when the ABC moderators are doing things that are not their job to do. So it was an absolute mess. There was also another little tidbit of information that I think would be need to know for the audience members. ABC failed to disclose debate conflict of Kamala Harris and Linsey Davis being sorority sisters. So, as ABC News failed to disclose that Kamala Harris and ABC News anchor Linsey Davis, who co-moderated Tuesday night's debate between Harris and President Trump, are sorority sisters in the influential Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority Inc., aka formed a PAC in August after Harris became the Democrats' presidential nominee. The sorority connection is one more possible clue as to why the debate moderated by Davis and ABC World News Tonight anchor David Muir was so one-sided in favor of Harris. Muir and Davis interrupted Trump numerous times to fact-check and argue with him, while they did not fact-check Harris even one time. While the sorority connection was not mentioned at the debate, Davis did speak about it during ABC's coverage of the Biden-Harris inaugural in January 2021. So this is something that has been confirmed. I would think that this would be a conflict of interest and an indicator that this person is not capable of being unbiased, and that she's clearly coming into this with her sorority sister with the intent of protecting her as sorority sisters do. Not to mention, she is fueled by her deep disdain and dislike and hatred for Donald Trump herself. So she is coming in with no motivating factor to even try to have a balanced view between these two candidates, to try to balance the conversation, and to try to hold Kamala Harris accountable in the same way that she would hold Trump accountable.